Hey everybody, Dr. Joe Messenger here. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to be covering a topic that is very relevant for many people, whether in a professional context or within a personal context. Because it seems to be that there's a lot of Jerry Springer type behavior going on around certainly most of the people that I've seen in my recent times. So it's easy for empathetic, for caring people, especially for healers, for light workers, for therapists, for practitioners, for mothers, for carers of children, for carers of sick people, to absorb the energies of other people, whether intentionally or unintentionally. So in this video today, I'm going to be going through how to clear that negative energy away from you without being less caring, without being less empathetic, without dimming yourself down, without lowering your intuition, without having to hide away from people in society and stay in your own house and be the quintessential introvert from now on. How to be able to clear that negative energy away from you, to be less absorbent without dimming yourself down, without dulling your gifts, and also how to shield yourself better from absorbing those energies from other people in the first place. Whether they're just having a bad day, whether they're just habitually explosive people that think it's okay to shatter other people with their emotions, or whether it's from people who intentionally don't want you to succeed, who intentionally, for whatever reason, want you to quit, to dull yourself down, to sink back into your south node instead of stepping up and rising above to your highest destiny and doing whatever your sole purpose is for this lifetime. My background, as well as being a chiropractor since 1982, I was also the founding principal of the Chiron Healing School, the Chiron Healing Energy School. So transcribing the channeled energy from the Master Chiron through the trance medium that brought that information through, transcribing it and putting it into teaching manuals and teaching formats to teach lay people and practitioners how to use those particular methods. So for 3 decades, 4 decades, whatever, I've been fully immersed in energy healing and feel quite comfortable in sharing the information that I've been blessed to have received with whoever wants to use it wisely and for their own benefit and for the loving, caring benefit of the people around them. So let's get started. As you may or may not have seen any of my videos similar to this topic before, our Master Diamond blueprints are like a multi-dimensional diamond. So if you can imagine yourself inside a multi-dimensional diamond, so not just 3D, not just 5D, but even more dimensions, then you'll have a bit of an understanding as to where we're starting in the first place. So if this is you, inside your multi-dimension Master Diamond blueprint, which holds all of the coding, all of the digital coding, all of the QR coding, all of the blueprint programming for your physical body, for your etheric body, for your emotions and your feelings, for your mental body, so your thoughts and behaviors, and for your spiritual body, which is your your karmic blueprint, your wounding blueprint, your gifts blueprint, and the like. So if we go out from here, you've got your physical body, your etheric body, your emotional, your mental, your spiritual bodies, and all of this is also contained within your column of light. You've got your, on the right side, and I've got a whole bunch of new technology at the moment, so it might be a side-for-side switch. Sort that out for yourself. But the right side, the right line of energy is the masculine energy. The thinking, the doing, the business, the career, the money, the structure. The left side, the left line of energy is the feminine line. The feeling, the intuition, the knowing without even knowing how you know. So all of this is contained within your personal master diamond blueprint for this lifetime. And if you go back to previous videos where I've discussed that this connects to all of your master diamond blueprints from other lifetimes, past, present, and future. But we want to come back to here because this is all of the coding. This is the lines of energy. This is the conquential line. This is the structure, the fractal structure for all of your energy centers. So 9 down the main line of energy and 13 down each of the side lines of energy. So connected to what your karma is, what your gifts are, what you are here to overcome, what you're here to master, and also things that you haven't attempted before that you thought you might like to have a go at in this lifetime because you probably didn't think you had enough to do already, right? Anyway, all of this is affected by everyone and everything if you allow it. And where we're going today is to how to be discerning between who you allow access to what, and for you to be a master of your own blueprints, your own soul purpose, your own destiny, and to go from there. So whenever we bit of a shame I used the blue first up. We're going to use it second up as well. Whenever we get depressed, whenever we get sad, whenever we're around depressed people or sad people, the blue energy can override your blueprint. When you've got the blues, when you're around people who've got the blues. And I'm not saying blue is a negative colour. You know, blue is the colour of philosophy, of divinity. It's the Chiron blue. It's the Archangel Michael blue. It's the lapis lazuli blue. So it's not about the blue. It's about which end of the spectrum of the blue. And today I'm talking mostly about the negative, the dense end of the spectrum, just for the sake of purpose, okay? So if you've got the blues, you're producing too much blue energy and overriding your energy field. If you are around depressed people who've got the blues and you're not shielded properly, if you're absorbing that energy, that can override your physical, your etheric, your emotional, your mental, your spiritual bodies and your column of light. This is not useful to you. This is why you can end up depressed and in the blues when you're around people who are depressed and got the blues. Do you follow me? So if you are a bit jealous or a bit envious of somebody, or you're around somebody who is jealous of you and who you are and what you've got, or they're jealous of somebody else and they keep in your ear about the whole story, the whole palaver. So if someone is green with envy, whether that is you or somebody else, if someone's got the green-eyed monster, then that too can override your master diamond blueprints, override the purity of the soul that you came in with. If someone has a job to do and they don't rise to the challenge, so whether that's you and you're going, no, it's too hard, it's too late, I don't want to, what will people think, or whatever the story is, or you're around somebody else who was born with great gifts but they are choosing for whatever reason, maybe they forgot. Maybe they're pretending to have forgotten. If you're around, if you or someone isn't using the gifts, tools, talents and abilities that they were born with to fulfill whatever circumstance is appropriate for you or them, you can get a yellow streak. The yellow of the coward. Okay? This is where this languaging comes from in our lifetime. If you or someone around you is overly angry, red with anger, and see, here again, it's not that red's bad, good or bad, it's with the context of the intent of how it's expressed, how it's created. You know, red can be the colour of enthusiasm. Yellow can be the colour of the teacher, the philosopher. You know, the photos in a lot of the paintings of a lot of ancient historical people will have that golden glow around their head, around the teachers. The green is the colour of Gaia herself to a certain degree, the colour of nature. So it's also very soothing in the right context. But again, I'm talking about the negative end of the spectrum for the sake of today's purpose. And just for a little bit of pendulum swing the other way, if you're in love, if you you've met the love of your life, you're delighted, you've got your rose-coloured glasses on, and it doesn't matter that there's a war in however many countries or whatever else is going on. You're in love, your heart's open, and you're producing a lot of pink. Tickled pink. Or it too. Just knock the microphone over. Thank you, Blue Yeti. If you're tickled pink, if you're overly in love, you can be a bit useless. You know, you can be a little bit extremely positive in a not useful way. So ideally, that overall honeymoon period needs to come back to the centre where you can function from your whole self again, not the extremity of the colour or the direction. And if someone is, or yourself, is black with rage, the extreme anger, the rage, it just totally pollutes your whole energy field, overrides all of your gifts, tools, talents, abilities, power, and good intentions, to the point where you can end up quite confused and easily manipulated by others. So can you see how these are all emotions that most of us experience to some degree pretty much every day? You know, if you're driving in traffic, if you're walking up a footpath and people can't work out, even as adults, which side of the footpath to walk on, or think they have the right to just walk up the middle and gossip with their friends and don't worry about anybody else. Whatever. These are not just the emotions that other people have. They're emotions that we all have to greater or lesser degree. So in an ideal world, part of your self-mastery at this point in time, at this point in history, it's really important to master your own emotions, to stop polluting your own energy field, to stop polluting the energy field of your own environment and the people around you, and also to stop allowing other people to project their rubbish onto you. Now, what to do about it? If you remember back to your high school physics, or you simply looked up in the sky after the rain and saw a pretty rainbow, you will have noticed that the spectrum of colour from our physical world. So the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo and violet. The easiest way that you can clear yourself of this negative energy, and there's many ways. You can exercise it out. You can swim in the ocean. You can use your crystals. You can use your Lord's Prayer, your Om chanting, your sage smudging, and Palo Santo sticks or whatever. There's many ways. But here's the thing. If you haven't got your crystals with you and someone's dumped on you, if you're in an apartment building where if you sage smudge every day, you could set off the fire alarm and end up evacuating the whole building or upsetting your neighbours, blah, 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 blase blue. Where I'm going with this is you don't need any special tools, you don't need any special equipment, you don't need any special Gregorian chant download from YouTube. This is just you and your intention and your ability, your natural inborn ability to use your own mind and your own intention to clear yourself by yourself. So, every morning, every night, every lunchtime, if you're in a predicament where you're really being burdened by yourself or by other people or your own negativity, mentally send this energy, send all of these emotions, the anger, the resentment, the cowardice, the envy, the rage, the disappointment, the lust, the regret, the resentment, the guilt, the shame, the blame, the fear, the stress, the worry, the insecurity, the whatever else, send it all up to the universal white light. It's the ultimate recycling of energy. The red goes back to the red, the anger goes back to the red, the orange, the relentless change goes back to the orange, the yellow, the inability to commit because there's constant change goes back to the orange, the cowardice, the lack of confidence, the lack of self-esteem goes back to the yellow, the jealousy, envy goes back to the green, and so on and so on and so on. The blues, the connecting to the wrong source of energy, the disappointment, the failure, blah, 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 blah. All of the emotions, whether you have created them yourself or whether you've absorbed them from somebody else, you can intentionally send them up to the universal white light for the ultimate recycling and cleanse, clear and purify your own energy field so that you have a clean slate to start from again, so that you're not functioning from a place where you're starting out with a foundation of jealousy, where you're starting out with a foundation of anger, where you're starting out with a foundation of depression or anxiety or insecurity or rage or disappointment. We've covered it. So that you are back to the clear slate of your own master diamond blueprint, your own gifts, tools, talents, abilities and power, so that every time you clear yourself, you give yourself a reset until you master that point, till you've healed yourself, that you're not creating so much of this in the first place, and you're not allowing yourself to take on other people's burdens to the extent that you have in the past, or ideally not at all, because it's everybody's responsibility to carry their own burdens in the long term, to master their own soul challenges. If anyone is perpetually trying to burden you with their karma, with their responsibilities, to try and hide in your coattails, to hide in your energy, to have your protection, they are not the right people for you, and they're probably not the right people for most people, to be honest. Everyone is responsible for their own soul mastery, for their own soul purpose, for fulfilling their own contracts in a given lifetime. Now, if you are, well, even if you're not, once you've cleared yourself, once you've swept the floor of the kitchen, once you've cleaned out the fridge, okay, it's not enough just to clean out the fridge and leave all the stuff on the bench top. Any rotting food needs to go in the compost. You need to put things where they can be recycled to next most appropriately. It's not enough just to take the stuff out of the refrigerator for the American friends. It's not enough to just take things out of the fridge and leave it on the bench top. You need to put it to where it's next place. It's not enough just to clear this energy out. You know, a lot of oh God, bless the massage therapists. A lot of people who don't necessarily know better will often flick energy away from their clients, from their patients, from themselves. And temporarily they and their patient, their client, probably feel better. Wouldn't you feel better without all of this emotion in your energy field? But the problem is, if you don't send it to the light, if you leave it on the bench top, if you leave it in your therapy room, the next person who comes in, if they're not protected, they can absorb all of that energy. So it can help one person and cause problems for the next person. Do you follow me? So make sure you're not just clearing this energy out. Bind it to the light, send it to the light, send it to its rightful place. When you clean out the fridge, put the waste in the compost. If you're sweeping the floor or vacuuming the floor, put the dust and the hair and the whatever else in the rubbish receptacle, in the trash can, in the rubbish bin. Send the energies to their rightful place. And then you can wash the floor. Then you can wash out the fridge and put fresh things in there. With yourself, after you've cleared yourself, then fill and surround yourself, fill your column of light mentally, use your own mind. You don't need any tools for this. Use your own mind and intention to fill yourself with universal white light. And the higher the vibration of this light, the more you'll be able to deflect all of these dodgy emotions from other people in the first place. That's your protection. And order is sometimes important. When you're putting on your shoes and your socks, order is important. It's kind of weird if you put your shoes on and then your socks, right? It's not that great. If you wash the floor before you sweep it, you're going to have mud. If you fill yourself with white light, if you protect yourself without clearing the energy away first, you're simply diluting these colours. Think of it like your paint pot when you're a child, you know, with the dozen different colours, and then it starts off pristine, and within a short time, if you're not careful, if the colours bleed in together, you just end up with a big black hodgepodge. If you just put more white into that, you just end up with a grey instead of a darker grey. And also, if you have, this is stepping into a different territory, if someone has a particular thought for long enough, that thought form can take on a life of its own. A thought can become a thought form, which can become a thought form entity. It's a little bit like what we're seeing with AI at the moment, with ChatGPT and the like. It starts off as just a useful thing, and then it gets more power, and then it becomes a sentient being with a life of its own and a mind of its own. Same with thoughts. If you or someone else has perpetual thoughts about the same thing, that thought can take on a life of its own. It can become an entity in itself. And if you have been subject to someone imposing entities onto you, and you fill yourself with white light, you protect yourself with white light, you are also protecting that entity. And if any of those malevolent, malicious people who refuse to do the work themselves, if they are hiding in your energy field and you don't clear them out first, if you surround yourself or fill yourself with your white light, you're also protecting them. So get the order right. Put your socks on before your shoes. Clear the negative emotions out. Send them to the light. Clear the negative thought patterns out. The thought forms, entities. Send them to the light. Clear the negative entities out. Send them to the light. They might get sent back to wherever they originally came from. That's none of your business. That's not your job. That's whoever's up here, that's their job. Keep your attention on your own job. So every morning, lunchtime and night, mentally, all of the negative energy, all of the aberrant emotions, raise them up, bind them to the light. Then fill and surround yourself with your universal light. And you don't, for most situations, for your normal day-to-day things, it's just like brushing your teeth. It's just a couple of minutes. And the more focused you are, the stronger your intent to keep your purity, to keep your own energy field pristine clean, to raise your vibration so that you're not feeling so much of the intensity of these dense energies. Then the longer you'll be able to hold your protection. And here's the thing. Anger disperses your protection. Every time you get angry, or if someone blasts their anger at you, it can destroy your protection. Don't compete with the people who want that for you. Don't compete with anyone who is intentionally trying to destroy your protection so that they can keep interfering, keep infiltrating into your energy field. Don't play the game. Master your own emotions, clear yourself, protect yourself. Keep as vibrant and intentionally strong in your purity, in your white light, as you can possibly be. And reinforce it whenever you need to, at least morning and night. And for me, it's lunchtime as well. Clear the energy away, bind it to the light, surround yourself, fill yourself and surround yourself with the universal diamond white light. And for the day-to-day, that's usually enough. If you're going through a particularly rough patch, if you're going through a phase where you are at the crossroads where you can elevate, there's likely to be extra haters around you who have refused to do their own work and would rather drag you back than elevate themselves and go through the ranks as well. You know, like in a video game, you have to master where you're at before you can go to the next level. You have to actually master the level. If you're going through an intense period like that, you can even invoke the white light, invoke the universal white light into wherever else you feel it needs to go. Into your cells and your DNA, into your organ systems, tissues and functions, into your physical body, your etheric body, your emotional body, your mental body, your spiritual body, your cylinder of light, into your heart, into your mind, into your environment, into your home, into your relationships, into your health, your wealth, your beauty, into your alignment, into your soul purpose, into wherever and whatever. You can lay down a path of white light ahead of you so that the day is a little bit clearer for you even before you get there. See you in the next one.